Dear students, today last portion of this lesson I am going to complete. Then the teaching of the teaching as per the syllabus of council will be completed, and some of the lessons which are not taught, I shall ask you, I shall make a contact, and then I shall re-explain certain points which are important to you. Then, as per the revised syllabus of the council, further revised syllabus, I shall start revision. Now, my dear students, today's points as mentioned in the board, please look at it. Communication. Whose communication? The communication of UNESCO. Preservation of cultural heritage of UNESCO. Main objective of UNESCO. India's association with it. Now communication. What is which communication? UNESCO. UNESCO has set up various programs. UNESCO has set up various programs in order to UNESCO has set up various programs in order to acknowledge its identity for the benefit of the people, so that people must become sincere, alert and self-sufficient in their respective fields. For that reason, UNESCO has set up regional networks and trained technicians provided. UNESCO has provided trained technicians and deals with both hardware and software programs. Another thing is that UNESCO improves the quality of the press and films and video services. It assists developing countries to develop communication and communication network program more and more actively. It assists developing countries to develop their communication not only, but also to develop their internet, to develop their programs in respect of the growth and development of people education, in growth of understand people, developing countries of the people, the growth and development of the people of the developing countries. And not only that, it assists developing countries to develop their understanding, their concepts, their thoughts, so that they must express their concepts, their thoughts perfectly, and must make a communication with others in all respects, and must highlight the image of their countries by way of making their countries self-sufficient and the people also self-sufficient. And for that reason, it upholds the freedom and liberty of the press, and independence of the media. It affords not only the freedom and liberty of the press, but also the independence of the media. So these are the points through which UNESCO communicates with others. Now, next point, preservation of cultural heritage. UNESCO provides technical experts in order to preserve the environment. In order to preserve environment, they provide technical assistance, technical advisors. It gives technical advice and assistance, equipments and funds for the protection of environment, for the preservation of monuments, historical monuments and other works of art. Not only that, it has prepared a World Heritage List to identify the monuments, how many monuments are there in different countries of the world, and how many monuments should be protected under the programs of the UNESCO, it makes an assessment with the help of its workers. It aims to protect the world in heritage of books, works of art, and rare manuscripts. In order to protect the manuscripts, in order to preserve the manuscripts, the valuable manuscripts which are going to be deciphered, it is the first and foremost duty of the UNESCO to preserve it by spending a lot of money, by encouraging the artistic creations, and by encouraging the workers, so that the valuable manuscripts must be protected, must be preserved. And it pays attention. It pays attention towards the different countries of the world to which may promote peace and security and prosperity. That's why it sends cultural mission to different countries of the world, so that they must become, the countries must be benefited with the programs of the UNESCO, the development of and develop in the field of cultural growth and educational growth. That's why a number of writers are given grants, artists are given various financial support, so that they must protect the environment, they must make self-awareness among the masses. That's why a number of projects have been taken by the UNESCO, named Western Cultural Values, and other schemes also. Under the scheme, India's talented exponents also are there. For example, a classical musician, classical singers, dancers, they travel to Europe and America for under the inspiration and guidelines of the UNESCO. So these are the points of UNESCO, and these are the most important steps taken by UNESCO in order to preserve cultural heritage of the world. Now, the main objective of the UNESCO. The main objective of the UNESCO is to contribute to peace and security in the world by fostering cooperation among nations through education, science, and cultural development. The UNESCO also has other important functions. UNESCO, it promotes knowledge of the people. It promotes, adult education. UNESCO develops science and technology, the concept of science and technology. UNESCO promotes cultural cooperation among masses, among people, among different countries of the world. And not only that, UNESCO protects environment, it preserves manuscripts, it preserves, historical monuments, and for that reason, it sanctions money and gives special training to the people who are assigned to look after historical monuments from being destroyed by some external elements whose main work is to destroy historical monuments. In order to protect it from them, a number of special apprentices and trainees are sent to protect the monuments and to make it a place of security. UNESCO. Another point is that UNESCO's India's association with UNESCO. India's association with UNESCO. Our country, India, from the very, very beginning, conscious, alert in performing, educational, cultural, and scientific, in performing educational, cultural, and scientific programs. For that reason, the Indian artists, Indian dancers, Indian educationists are sent to various parts of the world, and they always, they always set up a good image of our country, India, by performing well. And that's why it is said also that India has. It is said that the performance of India, without being the presence of the performers of India, the cultural programs under UNESCO becomes useless. And it's fact that India's artists, Indian dancers, Indian artists, Indian educationists, Indian culturists, Indian environments, those who are Indian experts, environmentists, those who are experts for Indian environment of the world, and always is supposed to protect the environment, they also are given special chances to protect the environment, to protect the world heritage. That's why India has become a member of the UNESCO since its inception in the year 1946. Besides, in the year 1949, India and the government of India set up a national commission for the cooperation with the UNESCO. This national commission has been cooperating with the programs of the UNESCO. This commission consisted of 5 sub-commissions, namely education, natural sciences, social sciences, culture, and communication. These commissions promote various programs of the UNESCO and sends personnel for better performance, for joining international conferences, and to participate and various conferences and seminars and workshops organized by the UNESCO. The UNESCO provides funds. It provides funds and expertise for the protection of many historical monuments, as I mentioned earlier, and sites like the World Heritage, like Taj Mahal, our country's historical monument, Taj Mahal. It is being maintained under the programs of the UNESCO. That's why the role of UNESCO in maintaining peace and security in the world is very important. At the same time, preserving manuscripts, preserving environment, preserving world heritages, these also are another important programs of the UNESCO. The UNESCO performs well and also gives certain ideas to the people of the world to be conscious, alert of each and every country's cultural heritage, historical monuments. That's why it gives importance to the people not only but to the countries of the world, so as to they must protect their environment, they must protect their historical monuments, they must protect their cultural heritage, they must protect the manuscripts which are rarely found, they must protect all the people who are not educated by providing them proper education. And make them educated, self-sufficient, so that they must participate in all the programs of the UNESCO. It has been reported by some reporters that some people were there who were totally uneducated, basically illiterates, of different remote villages, but under the UNESCO programs, they all became educated. People of different parts of the world, not only people of a particular country, people of different countries of the world, they became educated under the UNESCO programs and participated in the international seminars, international programs, international meetings under the UNESCO, and they acknowledged the cultural heritage. They acknowledged the glory and image of their countries in front of the other designators, other representatives of the world under the programs of the UNESCO. So by this way, India, our country, has become a very active country of the world by making herself to be associated with the UNESCO program. Up to this, my dear students, thank you.